Jens, okay, so it seems as if this was the hike that the ECB had to have, perhaps even reluctantly, in the face of slowing growth. What's your view? Was it the right call?
So, I mean, first of all, you're totally right. And it was very likely one of the closest decisions they had in the recent past. So, I mean, the president was alluding in the press conference that there were differing views and it was a very long debate what to do. I think before there was essentially consensus around market observers that it would either be a pause with strong indications for more to come if certain bars were not just surpassed, and or what we have seen actually yesterday, a hike, but again with strong indications that they would now wait and see. So what typically is referred to as a hawkish pause or a dovish hike.
So, look, headline and core inflation still tracking at 5.3%, Jens, and the reporting suggests that we're going to see inflation track above 3% in 2024. So they have to hike rates from this point on, particularly as we see higher input costs like energy also complicating the disinflation narrative, right?
Yes, so I think it's a very important point you're making here. So the energy backdrop has worsened from the inflation perspective. So the rise in oil prices is closely watched, and of course that could still, in some sense, change the story. Yesterday, I think what the ECB has done, they have, on the basis of what they projected, still too high inflation in particular next year, but then strong convergence also to their target in 2025, which is what they should sort of target in their decision. So whatever they do now and decide now is unlikely to affect anything in 2024. So for the time being, that I think is a good strategy to wait it and see it. They have essentially Madame Lagarde has been giving very strong hints in the press conference that the next assessment will be a rather holistic one at the occasion of the next projection meeting, which is in December. So essentially, at least in our view, taking off a rate hike in October off the table. And of course, until December, you have a bit more visibility and clarity what happens on the inflation front. So we will see very strong base effects. You remember energy prices and electricity prices were very high last year in Europe around that time. But of course, these base effects at some point will get weaker. So for instance, we see headline inflation falling strongly in the next sprints, but then already in December getting slightly up. And then the big debate really starts into where's the landing zone of that inflation. And that will be a big discussion throughout 2024.